we're at the end of the line, so
There you go.
everybody uses the bandwidth before it gets here. Camera. Let's move it without a camera.
Can't see them or they can't see us.
They can't see us.
this. When this got approved, we didn't do the saying that we were going to.
No.
Lori?
So we need to,
That.
use all of our money by this month, or designate it. We don't have to spend it, we have to designate it, so
Yeah.
it just works out best for me when I'm trying to balance the budgets and balance the financials. Report, and then that's, yeah, for the RY.
Okay, did we get an agenda?
It's,
Mhm.
wait, hold
On Monday, Tuesday.
on. I brought it.
Yeah.
Right here, this is yours. I just took it.
That's, oh, thanks,
Sorry.
sorry. Yes, out there.
This is you too.
I was like, okay, I know I saw the thing, but I didn't print one.
Yeah, I saw it and didn't print it either. Oh, we have started.
Question on that ARPA funding.
Yep.
When you do that, so when we took that to the South Municipal Park parking lot, that can be considered part of the playground, can it? As an in-kind type of thing?
I don't know. That depends on other money, whatever the grant is that needs any kind of service.
Okay. Depends on that, got it.
You touching me as I'm walking down here, I'm just not feeling comfortable. I don't know,
I think you should
I'm
sit
not
out here.
a
This
person.
floor, I've never felt it like it is over here.
I'm just not. I don't know.
Well,
I'm just
as
not
someone
in a good
who's
place in my
experienced
life
something
right
like
now.
this, I wouldn't recommend it for anybody.
You're ready to, right there. There's water in this thing.
Yeah.
I hope so. Yes, is there? Yep.
But we did get the LWRP extension about 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Oh, nice. Oh, I did something this month. I was pretty sick, so I didn't do much anything the last couple of weeks, so my apologies. There is no report. I did go planning. I did do planning from the living room, and I did a couple other things like that, but that doesn't really count for much. And I did review the training, so, and I sent the report that I had, and Bruce was wonderful and just called me and said, we have it, it just didn't make it to Tracy yet, so I'll have it all tomorrow.
Good.
And, but we're at 100% for planning board.
Good.
So Kevin said cameras off, but that, so there's some.
I don't know what's wrong. The camera's on Zoom, and oh no, now it's off. Was on. Let's try it. Yeah, there we go.
There we
Thanks, Kevin.
go.
Okay.
Yeah.
There isn't anybody on there that's really, hey, Casey Carpenter, I know you're on there. Hopefully you're listening. I'm not Lori Hayden, I'm Lori Burbridge. I've been meaning to say something for about 6 months. I'm not overly concerned. She's a really nice lady, so, okay.
I'm sorry, I'll try to do better with that. Thank you.
Wonderful, I'm not complaining.
And I just want to say thank you for responding to the questions about streaming meetings. I think you guys, personally, I think you guys do a great job getting all of your information out to the public. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. I'll give Bill 2
I
more
was gonna
minutes
say-
and we'll start.
Is he coming?
I reminded him. As far as I know, he's coming.
I thought it was this afternoon, I thought he was coming.
Yeah, he was pulling in as we were leaving.
Was there any?
He realizes that it's at 6 o'clock.
Oh,
That's what I reminded him in my text.
It's not, when I sent the information, it said it's
Yeah.
organizational at 6. meeting.
So the first motion is to approve the mayoral appointments. We changed all of Bud's spots to open. What other changes? Hardly any. There's 3 openings on both planning and zoning, so I told both chairs we got to advertise for that at the first of the year.
Melanie did put, she put it on the website.
Carly website, yeah.
Carly put out a message too, so.
Good.
Have you thought about asking Carly to sit on the board?
No, we could certainly do that.
She'd be a great representative.
I will, I hope either tomorrow or more likely Monday, I'll put out a shoreline and just ask for people that are interested in being trustee for a year to make themselves known, and then we'll interview them. Several people have talked to both Bill and I already, so.
Okay, cool.
I took historian off since Harold has done absolutely zero.
Okay,
Hasn't even talked to us. And Bill has been talking to the medical director of the ambulance to be our health officer, but she hasn't agreed yet. We added the ethics committee. And after the first of the year, we'll email all those people with the ethics policy and let them know they're on. We'll let Scott know as chairman, they'll love that. And then we also, at the request of the auditors, added all the wages. I'm sorry.
Is,
You did it?
Well, I just broke a tooth on it.
oh,
Well,
no.
crown and, it broke where it was sitting on the tooth. It broke it off down under the gum up in there, you know? Yeah, surprise, surprise. So, what the hell?
It's a mess.
Just a tooth. So Sherry says, you don't have any left in your head at this rate. I said, yeah, that's pretty much the size of it.
Not to be silly, but what is an E MEO?
Meow.
Oh, it is, the one of the titles that civil service, it's like, it's one of, it's a general, like a general position. That they, like, I'd have to look it up. I don't remember exactly. But it's a civil service, one of the civil service titles.
Okay.
So
So who would be like that person?
so
The flower water or?
no, that actually is, like, that's the head of the departments. So
Okay.
that would be like, that would be Brad, that would be Nate and.
Just leaving there.
Okay. Right now.
Okay.
Um, something like that. Yeah. Cause it's, you know, the titles are given to us by civil service. We have to go through Wayne County, like they tell us
Okay.
what, and if they have a certain license or not, or if they have testing, it's all based on them.
Look, I'm sitting in the basement.
Be careful what you wish for.
That's a good point, Roy. I never thought about that.
I'm gonna try and be the first one out, you guys.
Any other questions on the appointments?
So right now, you're just gonna leave those open until we figure out, we'll just have to decide.
Unless somebody wants to add to their burden. But
All the,
Yep.
because I just switched it and put open or anything. like
Okay.
that.
I would love to say yes, but right now, yeah, I'm pretty flat out.
Yeah.
everybody seems to be, so.
Yeah.
And one person that has expressed interest would be pretty good for a couple of weeks. So
Okay,
we'll see
great.
what happens.
Who would those people be?
And that would be Al Hendricks.
Okay.
Scott Johnson has expressed some interest. Either Larry or Margaret Angie has expressed some interest.
Either one, any one of those would be great.
Yeah, I don't think it's legal for Scott.
Probably not, but
to do it.
I don't know if it is or not.
I'm pretty sure it's not. Matt was gonna,
Check it out.
trying to vet that out, but we're a subordinate entity to the town that he's the boss. So. All right.
I moved to adjourn.
That's gonna work in the English.
Start this first motion going.
That we accept the positions as outlined, which I believe are the same as last year. And I'd like to make note of that I would like to say a special thank you to the planning board for having conducted all their training. Because they had one busy year for all the things they've been doing.
A second,
I'm not, yeah, second it.
all in favor?
I,
All right. The emergency command structure was established with the mayor as first, deputy mayor as second, and if we're both not around, it was then fall to the trustee with Susan, which right now is Lori. Again, you need a motion in a second.
I'll make that motion.
Second, oh, can I go, probably shouldn't do that, should I? Doesn't matter.
I don't think it matters.
Okay, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The next one is setting our meetings for the third Thursday of each month at 6:30 PM here in the Village Hall. Clerk, with the direction of the mayor, will prepare an agenda. The mayor and any trustee may have items placed on the agenda. The tentative agenda will be provided to the board members Friday before the board meeting. All agenda material is due to the mayor and the clerk by Friday at noon.
I'll move in. Accept that. And then how are you want to work it? Put it in days, right?
Continue.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
The clerk should take minutes. Minutes will consist of a record of summary of all the motions, proposals, resolutions, and any other matter formally voted upon, and the vote thereon. Minutes should be taken into executive session of any action that is taken by formal vote, which shall consist of a record of summary of the final determination of such action, and date in the vote provided by the New York State Freedom of Information Law. Minutes shall also be provided. Shall also include the following: name of the board, date, place, time, notation of who's there, name and title of any other village officials or employees that may be there, record of communications presented to the board, record of reports made by board or other village personnel, time of adjournment. Minutes shall not include a summary of discussion leading to action or include verbatim comments. Minutes will be accepted at the next meeting.
Which that's part of that same,
Okay, sorry.
that's all one,
Yep.
is that, yeah, so as long as everybody's okay, we'll just keep it. For Gail and Kathy. That's fine.
Our next organizational meeting will be Tuesday, December 2nd at 6:30 to avoid any conflict with the planning meeting. You want to make that motion?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
The meetings of the Village of Sodas Point Planning Board will be the first and third Monday of each month at 7 o'clock in the Village Hall.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The Village of Sodas Point zoning board meetings will be on the second Monday of each month at 7 PM in the Village Hall.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Approval for the mayor to authorize village employees to attend dinners, meetings, seminars, conferences, and training in connection with village business. All reasonable expenses to be paid by the village.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Whereas the Board of Trustees has determined to pay mileage reimbursement to officers and employees of the village who use their personal automobiles while performing their official duties on behalf of the village. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees will approve reimbursement to such employees at the federal rate per mile.
What is the federal rate right now?
I always
I
have to
believe it's
look it up.
67. I think it's 67 cents.
Yeah, but it's
I think so.
Okay. So you have that on file.
Each year at the beginning, we print it out and put it with the.
Okay.
Reimbursement form.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
There'll be 2 floating holidays for full-time village employees this year to be chosen individually by each employee. They must set that floating holiday schedule by January 15th, 2025 with the clerk.
Make a motion, we accept that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Authorize the clerk treasurer to pay prior to board audit meeting the following but not limited to in order to prevent assessment of late fees or additional charges such as freight, debt service, deposits for schools and conferences, utility bills, medical dental insurance, paychecks.
Make a motion. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll make a motion.
Got it.
I'll second it. I'll say it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Authorize the mayor and the village clerk to apply for state aid, consolidated highway aid, and any other grant monies that should become available at no cost to the village of Summit Point.
So,
I'll go ahead. She's gonna move outside.
yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
You good with that, Lori?
Yep, I'm sorry. Yes.
Whereas section 452 of general municipal law and section 11-1118 of village law requires villages to re-levy unpaid water and sewer rents plus penalties to the annual tax levy. Therefore, so be it resolved that the village of Sodas Point Mayor and Board of Trustees authorize the village clerk treasurer to re-levy unpaid water and sewer rent accounts plus accrued penalty on the 24-25 year village taxes due June 25 pursuant to New York State Village Law, blah, blah, blah.
So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
I,
So be it resolved that the village of Sodas Point Mayor and Board of Trustees request collection of delinquent village taxes for the 25-26 year due June. That's inconsistent with what's up top.
Yeah, it is.
what,
24-25 is what 12 or says, and this is 25-26. Both due on June 25.
Just like a typo.
Next week.
Yeah, that's a typo. The taxes should be 24-25.
Okay.
right now, the one that we're
No,
discussing?
no, that's not wrong, because the taxes are for 25-26 in
So
June.
it'd be the.
Oh, this, I'm sorry, no,
No.
you're right, you're
No,
right.
I'm like, wait, no, yeah, no, I'm
You're right.
correct, I'm right.
Yeah.
Yes, both June 25, but I have to take.
Yeah.
next-
Two different-
23 that would have gone in last year.
24, yeah. Yeah, so that's right.
Resolved that the village clerk treasurer is hereby authorized and directed to send a certified copy of the resolution together with the accountant certification described in subsection 3, section 1436 of real property tax law to Wayne County Treasurer, in accordance with the provisions of section 2 of Wayne County Law 4-1978.
So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Resolution regarding the filling of vacancies and training of members of the zoning board of appeals and planning board. Whereas Village of Sodas Point previously established a zoning board of appeals under chapter 190 of the village of the Sodas Point Village Code. And whereas the Village of Sodas Point previously established a planning board under chapter 35 of the Sodas Point Village Code. Whereas the village wants to attract and retain members of the planning and zoning boards, and to have those members adequately trained so as to provide the best possible service to village residents and applicants before the zoning and planning board. And whereas pursuant to village law as it pertains to zoning boards and pursuant to as it pertains to planning boards, the village board will require proof of required training to be submitted to the village board on an annual basis. Now therefore be it resolved by the village board, Village of Sodas Point, when terms are ending or vacancies arise on either board, the village clerk shall advertise in the open positions and the rate of compensation in the following media: Shoreline, Village of Sodas Point website, posting at the village hall, official village newspaper, Village of Sodas Point Facebook page. Any newly appointed members of the planning board or zoning board should complete the minimum 4 hours of New York State sponsored training or Dennis and Clear Lakes Regional Planning Council on behalf of the Department of State within 90 days of appointment to enable such members to more effectively carry out their duties. Proof of training should be submitted to the village clerk.
I'd like to amend that with a copy to the chairman of the planning and zoning. Can I do that? Because then I wouldn't have to bother Tracy.
To the commissioner or to the chairman? You're the commissioner.
The commissioner, yeah. Because,
So proof of training should be submitted to the village clerk and the board of the commission.
Yeah.
All members of the planning and zoning board shall thereafter complete a minimum of 4 hours by New York State Department of State sponsored training or Genesee Finger Lakes Regional Planning Council on behalf of the Department of State annually. And submit proof of same to the village board for filing by the village clerk, certified with which certificates will be available for inspection at the village hall during regular business hours. All required training may be done either online or in person. Members of the planning and zoning board will not be considered until proof of training has been submitted to the village clerk. And planning board training shall comply with village law and zoning board training shall comply with village law.
And move we accept all.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn the organizational meeting?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Second.
Aye.
Thank you.
I have one question on that. Don't we usually have to do policies here? Like the yearly policy of I'll be nice to you if you're nice to me and that sort of thing. I can't remember what they're all called. There were like 3 policies.
Approving the
for
policies.
harassment.
Well, so that they need to be addressed in January because we need to make some changes from the audit. We're gonna I have to make changes. So that I'll bring that in January.
Okay, so do we have something that,
So I'll send you, I mean, what we've been told right now, if you don't do anything different, anything stays status quo from the last year, right?
Right.
So
until we're
you
good,
make
we're
the change.
covered till we get this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Oops, sorry.
All right, we advertised that following the organizational meeting, we would immediately begin the regular board meeting, so we will stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Order of business is approving the minutes from our November 21st meeting.
I hope that we approve the minutes as written.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
In terms of my report, lake is going up. We're up about 2 inches from our last board meeting. Shipping ends on January 6th, so any outflow alterations after that would only come from trying to form ice up in the canal. Obviously, we're low and probably will remain low. I think I previously reported that the forecast for April is to remain below average by about 6 inches. The next step in the water study, after accepting it in tonight's agenda, is to finish this parts 2 and 3 of the seeker. We did part 1, and to begin for applying for funding in the spring. We've requested a proposal from BNL so that they can help us do all of that. Sharon is retiring from most grant writing as of the end of the year. So, and this will be a big project and there'll be a lot of grants applied for, so we'll end up having to pay BNL to do that.
I have a question. When I read through that report, maybe this isn't the time because we're gonna go over that, is that it, or are we just making the resolution? So,
I'm just reporting on it now.
Okay.
We can talk about it
Okay.
later, and if we want their principal to come and talk about it, we can do that. Although I will tell you that the principal's wife passed away 2 weeks ago.
oh, no.
He's not back at work and probably won't be for a while. She's got little kids. On the South Municipal parking lot, we have a design. And Brad and I were talking earlier this week, and it's probably time to just put it out for bid. That way we can get some real prices and use it as we build the budget for next year. So I think that's what we'll do. That is included in our agreement with BNL on that, so that's something that they'll take care of. On the ethics committee, we had 5 people express interest. Our code calls for up to 5 members with 1 being a village employee, so we took the first 4 volunteers. Village Hall, we had some more shifting take place last week over there. combined with the collapse of the records room floor, which is probably water related. We did have Bob Elliott come through last week. Tomorrow, he's bringing a structural engineer with him to help assess the entire situation and give us a report to make some recommendations.
Who is the structural engineer?
And somebody Bob recommended.
And will he be looking at securing that part of the building? Because,
Absolutely.
no, I mean immediately.
Yeah,
Okay, so they should be able to shore up some things and put some things under it to hold this building up.
yeah, we should get a plan for near-term actions and future actions.
Well, I'm not sure everybody should be in this building while it isn't secure.
Well, according to the engineer, we're safe.
Which engineer?
But, and it'll be affirmed or not tomorrow by the structural engineer.
This is exactly what was expected. This isn't anything that wasn't expected
Right.
from all the structural engineering reports we had when I first came on the board. So my concern is that we have employees here. If a building decides to go, it's going. I know that from experience and I don't like to even think about it. When I came in here and saw what it looked like in your office, and I haven't gone under the building, but I plan to tomorrow. This is something you really need to take seriously. And whoever this engineer is that Bob Elliott's bringing, you better know his credentials.
Oh, he's a licensed structural engineer.
Okay. He came highly recommended by whom?
By Bob,
Okay.
who hasn't let us down yet, and we've used him for years, so.
Whoa. Bob said everything was fine. Aren't we sitting with stuff in the middle of the cellar right now? And didn't we have an area come down over at the community center that were all cited on those plans? And I'm not trying to be mean about this. They did a great job fixing it, but somebody could have gotten hurt, which is exactly what they said. When you have employees here, you have an obligation to keep them safe.
Understood.
Maybe I'm the only one that feels this way, but if it was up to me, we'd have them out of here. And this would be closed until it was structurally sound.
It would have been closed last week had the engineer said it's not safe. And we are already looking for alternatives and where to go, where to store things if we need to. We have some pricing. So we're definitely preparing to be able to vacate if that's what is suggested.
What time is the meeting tomorrow?
Starts at 10.
Anybody else going?
Yeah.
We need to put an emergency meeting up then because I'm planning to attend.
Wait, Dave, are you gonna be here or is it, because if it's just the two of them?
I will be here eventually, but I have previously scheduled meetings.
Because I was just, because it might be. So,
I won't be here for sure, I don't know.
I may be able to be here, so let's.
As far as I'm concerned, the four of us are responsible for our
It's a
employees.
serious thing. It
This
is
is
a
a
serious
serious
thing.
Yeah, it's a serious thing. That's why we have professional help come. And we had professional help come last week to make the immediate decision.
Well, I'm sitting here as someone who warned of this earlier. And I almost feel derelict in my duties because.
As did I, and you led the charge against my suggestion. So we are where we are. We just have to move forward.
That was for a new village hall at the tune of $1.8 million. This is to repair the building or make it safe. If we decide we need to do that, we can build a beautiful town hall for $500,000. It might not be a hacienda, but it'll be a very good one.
We did get
Village
some
Hall.
quotes from, Everdy and that, David's got him there just in case
Okay.
for substitute offices and that, and, we need to have Tracy put in her 2 points, 3 points, 10 points, whatever, but she should have some say in it as well. And when we get to that point, we'll go from there.
Okay,
I called before this afternoon, I called up to SOTUS again and just asked if they had had the conversation about the court records. Because at least we could get the court records to a safe space. That's really important. I mean, obviously our stuff is good, but that's one of the things that has to be kept for a really long time. And they're gonna talk about it tomorrow. So they'll say, yes, we can at least take
Okay.
They should be able to shore it up to a certain extent.
But right now, I have records in cardboard boxes and there's standing water in the basement, so it's not gonna last very long.
Yeah.
And there's dirt floor in the front of this building, so there's nowhere here is safe anymore. We can't bring it up, we can't.
Right.
So,
And the community center's
and the,
got humidity in the basement, so
yeah.
we have to move them somewhere,
Right.
but we need to get more information. I don't have a copy of the water report, but I think some of you do.
He gave it to me and that.
But basically, he read the meters, he did the things he was supposed to do this month.
Well, within there.
And for the highway department, they went back around and picked up all the last minute piles of leaves and brush. Beverly Drive will remain open for drop-offs for anybody that is still worrying about that and doing that work. They'll be picking up trees after the holiday again, as long as they're on the curbside. They take those up to Olathe Farms. They've started with several plow runs and fixing the issues that arise along the way. They'll be cleaning up plow damage in the spring, and there's definitely some. It often happens for the first few plows till the ground freezes and stays frozen. And they're finishing up odd jobs while the weather's warm this week, although they'll be plowing their brains out this weekend, it sounds like.
They'll be under experience.
Bill?
Not an awful lot other than, under like the safety officer and then getting involved in the situation with the building a little bit here. You know, talking with Kevin about his fire inspections and that stuff, but other than that, the parking, that's kind of off until after the first of the year, without a doubt. I mean, you know, things are pretty well set up anyways to move along with it, but, other than that, that's it for mine.
Kathy?
The ambulance had 11 responses in November. 4 of them were public assist. 2 were code 12 deceased individuals. 5 were billable and 5 were needed ALS assists. Total for the year is 194. We have that new CPR machine. It's in the ambulance and in service. We have an application for a membership by another EMT who is now living in our village. His name is Corey Fox. I've actually personally known this guy for several years. He formerly was with Eastern Wayne in the Wolcott Eastern area there. His resume is really good. The people at Silver Waters, the medics there have looked at it and signed off and made the suggestion that he be added to the roster with our approval. So I'm gonna make a motion, so he grew up in North Rose. He lives currently in, Silver Point. I make the motion that we, how should I word this exactly?
Adding to the EMS.
Just add Corey Fox to the EMS roster. I make that motion for the village.
Second.
All in
That's
favor?
great.
Aye.
He'll be a great addition.
Yeah, it's a good guy.
Lori?
The playground committee was active the first part of the month, then we had a baby and illness, and that kind of slowed us down. We did give a presentation to the school system and another one of the banks, and had several places that we went out to. And yeah, it's been going forward, not as fast as we wanted it to, but it's going forward. Oh, and Reliant gave us a check for $5,000.
Oh, good.
And so we'll be doing a press release on that. How could I ever forget that? I was so excited when that came. And we have some other ones that are expected for the end of the year. The other, I reviewed the planning board training, and I think that's pretty much it.
Okay, thank you. Kevin's report, he issued 11 permits, generated $1,100.80. I don't know where the 80 cents comes from. Public comments? Chris?
None.
Anybody on this Zoom? Okay, thank you. Old business, we need to accept the preliminary engineering report that all of you got last month. It's quite lengthy.
The only thing that I didn't really catch, and maybe I missed it when I was writing it or reading it. I didn't see anything that stood out that said, this is what we need to do, and some of the jargon in there, I didn't really understand. Was I alone in that? I mean, so will they be giving us a presentation or?
We can ask for one. We can certainly ask for one.
Usually there's like a task.
So there
Yeah,
are different, the tasks are all listed out.
But they
in those
didn't-
tables in the back.
Well, right, but they didn't really say this is your heaviest hitter. And I thought that we were gonna get a summarized list of that. Where the quick fixes could be and where the expensive ones would be.
Well, there's two different funding scenarios in the back.
And I saw
The
those,
first one is everything.
yeah,
The second one is the stuff that should be done soon.
that was like 3 million or something like that.
It was more than that. There's not much that can wait. This was the bottom line. And things that do wait are just gonna be more expensive. So it's really gonna depend on what grants can we get,
Right,
when that time comes.
but so I didn't see where they said there's notable leaking here that could be taken care of.
They didn't find where the leaks are.
For some reason, I thought we were gonna have some idea of that. Am I alone on that or did I dream it?
I think it's, there's.
I think there was just
here,
areas
there,
that
and
hadn't been
everywhere.
finished and they decided that that's what should be taken care of.
Okay.
To bring everything up to date, you know, and then you're almost gonna have to, if you start having a big water loss, go from there, but I think they're planning on that, buttoning up a lot of the so-called leaks, you know. It's a big investment to put into it, but
Meters alone are.
yeah, for sure, sure.
What I found most interesting is because a year ago, we calculated our loss ratio. And it was about 35%. And in their report, it's about 45%.
We were pretty close.
Well, that's a big jump
Yeah,
in the wrong direction.
yeah.
So, and I don't know what that is. It could be meters, it could be pipes, it's probably all of the above. We know we have a leaky yard hydrant down here that it's gotta get repaired. So. I can request that they come and give us a presentation.
I think that that's probably a good idea. And that it should also be well advertised for anybody that's around or, everybody gets a shoreline that's traveling anyways, don't they?
Yeah, and what he'll tell us is the same thing he told us at the public meeting that we had, which very few people.
Yeah, I
did.
mean, people don't know about this.
Well, and the problem with that was it didn't really get out to everybody. We slipped up on a little bit of the advertisement on that, I think. But that, it's easy to say that. Now they know we're doing it, so maybe there are people that are finding out about it.
I don't think it hurts to put out, you have them come and. they
Yeah.
can even just a
I mean,
small
wasn't there gonna be
presentation
another-
on
Yeah.
their
Right,
findings
presentation
and where
anyway,
they
or
got
no?
those findings, how they came about those findings.
Right.
Yeah,
In a summary of.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll just ask him to come and give us a presentation.
Okay, thank you.
Do we want to accept the report prior to that, or do we want to wait?
What difference will it make?
None.
Then I think we should do it after they've given us a presentation.
On to new business. The first is a local government resolution that NICOM is asking all the villages to pass. Which basically says New York State, for the first time in 15 years, you upped the unrestricted aid to local governments by $50 million. You're calling it temporary. We're requesting that this be permanent. This is because tax caps get in the way of letting us do the things we need to do. Inflation is out of control. State aid isn't keeping up with our needs. So we're just asking that the governor and the state legislature commit to continuing the additional $50 million in the next state budget. And then this gets sent to the governor, the majority leader, the assembly speaker, and Pam and Brian.
Do we need to read this or out loud to move it?
We can just move it, right?
Was it part of what was like the posted materials for the meeting? Then yeah, you should just move that.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Fire department is, last month we surplus the engine they don't use, the pumper which they don't use, or rarely use. And Tracy's working on getting that on Auctions International. That frees up a bay. So putting the boat in the garage makes, in the fire hall makes a lot of sense. In order to do that, we need to increase the height of one of the doors. And Bill's gone back and forth with them about what door, but the door furthest west is already higher to support the rescue. So we have quotes for a new door for the one right next to it. We have one quote for the concrete work. We gotta get another one, and Bill's reached out to somebody that doesn't want to bid on it. So if any of you know concrete people, we need 2 rows of blocks taken out and some C-channel welded on and painted. And then we need some electric work. So this is coming. We had hoped to have all these quotes tonight, but we don't. So
And I was back on the phone this afternoon again, and he said, well, my wife sent that out last Friday. I've gone through all my trash, all my everything that it might, on my computer, and I found nothing. He says, she's in the office tomorrow, she'll have it printed. I said, that's fine, don't send it by email. I said, I'll stop and pick it up.
perfect.
So, and what that basically says, Lori, is that it's Wesley. Wesley.
yeah.
His insurance company will not allow him to raise that door up over there because of worries of insurance. In other words, because they're replacing the framing over the top and that. We have one that is not gonna have a problem doing it. We have 2 different door quotes. And just to give you a heads up, one of them is for a complete door, and the other one is for one panel. The panel's not gonna be exactly the same as the others that are there because of the age of them, but it's quite a substantial change in cost. So once I get this other letter that says he doesn't want to do it, that'll act as our second quote, and then we'll go from there with it.
Okay.
But it's just something that we gotta get it done because we want to get the boat inside as soon as we can, and it's just
Yeah.
nice to have it inside where it's.
Definitely.
In the other engine, they went through and they took the stuff off the other engine that they wanted to take off. If that, as of right now, Tracy, when they come up to take pictures or whatever, it's all set to, yep, and ready to go for pictures, so. We're in good shape there.
Awesome.
Yeah, so.
Okay, the next item is Tracy's got a resolution to allocate our remaining ARPA money to the Willow Park design.
So I think that it just needs to be a motion, but this was
Okay.
this was when what I gave you all was when we approved to go with Barton and Judas for the parking lot redesign. And so we just need to make a motion tonight to agree that we're gonna use the remaining ARPA money to fund this.
And how much is that?
It's like 23,600.
I make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
To save time with this overhead door thing, is there anything that we can do to advance so that when we get our second letter or whatever, do we need to,
Can you
No,
vote by
no.
email and then follow up next meeting?
or should we just
Oh,
wait?
so like when you get the quotes, you're saying vote, now you really can't vote by email, you'd have to wait till next meeting, or do a special meeting.
Yeah.
And we might have another reason to do that.
If something like- yeah, if it's something like that comes down to, okay, that's fine. I just wanted to check, that's all.
Okay.
Thank you.
The next one is a suggestion from the Garden Club. Longtime Sodas Point resident and Garden Club member, Grace Kelly sadly passed away on November 19th. One of the contributions that Grace gave to our village was her many hours spent developing, planting, weeding, and watering the plants at Sunset Park on Lake Street at the end of North Kitchen Street. It was her initiative to get this small village property made into a beautiful, relaxing area for residents and visitors to enjoy. Park is noticed for its berm of many pink supertunias. Not sure.
That's what they're called.
Is
It's
it
a,
really?
it's a strain of petunia.
Yeah,
It's
it
called
is.
supertunias, yeah.
All right,
They're
they blossom each summer. Sodas Point Garden Club members would like to suggest that the Sunset Park be renamed Grace's Sunset Park in honor of this very dedicated resident. We would like to see a new sign made and installed at the site. The Garden Club may wish to do a dedication here for Grace this next spring or summer. We would ask the village to get a new sign made and installed, renaming the park Grace's Sunset Park.
I make a motion, we do it, if that's what it takes. She was a sweet lady, and of all people, you never would have thought she'd have been the one who passed away.
Right.
But that's, you know,
And this park is used by a ton of people.
you know,
Yeah, the only question I have is, I'm surprised they don't say Grace Kelly. Sunset Park.
with the name Grace Kelly, wasn't there an actress? or
Yeah,
something?
there was, but I'm just thinking
Yeah,
because
yeah.
to the locals, that means
Yeah.
something.
Might be something to check into.
Yeah.
Just ask,
Yep.
but I make a motion, we do it in any case.
Yeah, that, and yet my second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Tree removal quotes. Leon Bayview. Between Route 14 and the fairways. Those stumps removed. Route 2 on Lake Street between the two houses being built. And stump removal for those. Empire Tree is $9,050. And Don and John Lawn and Tree is,
4,900.
well,
No.
no, no.
Oh, no.
No, you gotta add.
Oh, on
two,
top, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
10, 11.
11-2.
Yep.
Yeah.
11-2.
11-2.
I make a motion that we go with Empire Tree, which is the less amount
Second.
and equal to.
All in
Did a
favor?
nice job too.
Aye.
Aye. Do we have to accept Bud's resignation?
Tracy,
I sent him an email that day.
But
It's-
I think the board is supposed to vote on it.
I think so,
I
too.
believe so, Lori's correct, yeah. Just to recognize it.
I'll recognize him. It's with sadness that I see him go. He was committed to the people. And I enjoyed working with him and but I think this is a really great opportunity for him. So with that, I wish him the best. And I hope that we accept his resignation.
I'll second.
all in favor?
I guess I should have said thank him for his job. And he probably already did that.
Yep, and we wish him success in the future. Okay, time to pay the bills.
12-1 through 12-20, or 12-1 through 12-44, totaling 12, oh my goodness. Then 12,016, general 72,891, water 11,353, and wastewater 36,770.
I move that we pay the bills.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any other business?
I move that we go home.
I had one thing that we maybe should probably, I could talk to either Dave about, and then he can run it by you guys about pending lawsuit. I don't know, or if you want to go into executive session.
Oh, we better do that.
Yeah,
I withdraw my motion.
sorry, I should have let you
I
know.
know that we
man.
go.
It just came to me.
Move to executive session
I'll second.
for the purpose of legal.
All in favor?
Uh,
All right. We'll do that. I'm gonna kill Zoom.